Artificial intelligence is definitely a technology that's here to stay.
We marveled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI.
It's super useful, but it can also cause a bunch of problems in our lives. And of course, our beloved game, League, wasn't gonna come out of this untouched. AI is already deeply integrated into Riot, not just to make sure trolls get punished, but also in a more controversial way, to decide how ranked teams are put together. A lot of people say the system manipulates wins and losses just to keep you stuck in the same rank, and that's basically the technical concept of engaged optimized matchmaking, or EOMM, which is at the core of how AI works in League. And honestly, that's still pretty mild compared to what's happening in other games, where AI is being used for artwork, storytelling, and even champion development and balance. But let's understand what AI can actually do in the world of gaming, so we can get a better idea of what that means for League. The use of technologies like AI isn't some isolated phenomenon. It's actually the latest step in a long line of technological advances that started way back in 1952 with OXO, moved on through Pong in 1972, and later the use of microprocessors in Space Invaders 1978. Each step promised more efficiency and immersion. Today, the promise of generative AI is to do more with less, making development tasks easier and freeing up time for human creativity. And I don't even need to say it. This is straight up changing how the world works. Obviously, it also has a huge impact on game development by simplifying things that used to take forever. That optimization lets creators shift their focus on repetitive tasks to creative innovation. Like, you can literally write a piece of text and turn it into an image or a full 3D model. And it even comes with textures. On top of that, AI is also being used for story creation and narration. Obviously, right now, AI doesn't compare to actual human work, like a good voice actor or a great writer. But that's just for now. At first, AI made some super cursed stuff, like those weird Will Smith videos eating spaghetti. But now there are tons of AI videos I couldn't even tell were fake until I read the comments. And when AI gets to the point where it fixes even the tiniest mistakes, and people can't even tell what's real anymore, at that point, game development's gonna be insanely advanced. If anyone can have a professional narrator's voice through AI, or generate some crazy 3D model or anything like that, it's gonna make game development way easier. And honestly, no matter what you think, I, for example, am totally against a company as big as Riot using AI in a cinematic or splash art. Like, it's one thing if you're at home using ChatGPT to make a Minecraft version of yourself to send to your friend, but it's completely wrong for Riot to use AI with the amount of money they've got. Still, this is something that's basically inevitable. There's nothing we can do about it. A lot of people, especially from Gen Z, are against AI, but companies don't really care about the consumer opinions nowadays like they used to. Like, even if a bunch of people stopped playing League because of AI, it wouldn't cause a big enough financial hit for Riot to go back to using human labor. Besides, AI use might end up becoming something totally normal for future generations. Like, sure, we kinda hate it now, but what about someone who was born into a world that already uses AI everywhere? For them, it's just normal. Why would they bother learning how to draw if they can just type something into AI and just get an image instantly? Even if people lose their jobs and some professions disappear, for companies this means a massive financial gain. Things get easier, cheaper, and faster to produce. Another relevant application is procedural content generation, PCG, where AI algorithms create in-game content in real time. PCG is famous for making huge worlds in games like Minecraft and No Man's Sky, and maybe Riot will use that someday, maybe in an alternative game mode, some event map, or something like that. There are also graphics that use AI. I'm not going to go into technical terms here, but honestly, I don't know them, and I haven't really studied that stuff. I'm just sharing my gamer knowledge with you guys. There are some settings that you can turn on in the graphics options of certain games that automatically generate stuff using AI, making the game run lighter. I honestly don't really know how it works technically, but it just works. Sometimes it looks a little weird because when you move too fast, some stuff gets blurry, but overall it really boosts your FPS. There's nothing wrong with using AI that way, as long as it's not like EA.
Challenge everything.
Big studios like Electronic Arts, EA, which made games like Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefield, The Sims, and FIFA, have already said that AI is at the core of the business, with three main focuses: efficiency, expansion, and transformation. The word efficiency itself raises an ethical dilemma. How long does it take and how much does it cost for an artist to design something? And how long does it take and how much does it cost for an AI to make the same thing? Sure, it's easy to tell apart a hand-drawn image from an AI-generated one, but they can still use AI in concept art, for example. If Riot doesn't start using AI to keep up with the new champion releases and updates, they could end up falling behind. Right now, that's not really happening, but imagine if other games started doing it. While Riot releases one champion, another game could release 5 just as polished. Obviously, League isn't gonna die because of that, but if other games started looking just as good as League, a lot of people might switch over. That's kind of what happened with CS when Riot released Valorant. A ton of people switched to Valorant. A lot of people argue that AI could never make something like League's splash arts, since they have such unique characteristics, or that it could never match a narrator or voice actor who adds that special charm with regional adaptations and all of that. But honestly, I still think one day AI will absolutely reach that level. The pressure for efficiency in development directly impacts production speed, and that obviously affects the player experience. There's also machine learning, which is when systems learn, recognize patterns, and make decisions without human input to generate a command. It's that little bot that detects if an account's trolling, using scripts, or deserves punishment, since Riot can't exactly hire people to manually check every single account in League. The messed up part is that this system was created back in 2009 by Riot, and it's built on a totally spaghetti-coded base, mostly in C++. Ian Schweer, a senior engineer at Riot, pointed out how hard it is to run inference fast enough in real time, especially because models sometimes need to be developed inside the game binary. That low latency requirement means inference must be fast enough to not hurt the client's rendering performance. Ian explains how Riot's data pipeline is extremely complex. Game data gets logged via Java in C++, transported through systems like Apache Kafka, processed and transformed at a player or game level, and then stored in data warehouses, Hive on S3, for ML training. In simple terms, when you play a League match, the game is processing a ton of info in real time. That data is captured and sent into an automatic system like Kafka, where it's organized so it makes sense. Then it ends up in storage that Riot uses to keep everything and to train AI. The problem is that all of that has to run very fast, and Riot's older, outdated system can't always handle the load. It crashes or stalls, so engineers are forced to learn how Riot's system really works to keep things running. Despite MLOP's challenges, Riot uses ML internally to optimize development and quality assurance. One important technique is building procedural personas, AI agents that simulate interactions and behavior of different player archetypes. This automated simulation is a crucial interactive tool during development, letting Riot quickly visualize game scenarios, test new content, and scale their testing efficiency. It saves massive time and resources compared to manual testing. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like on the video, and maybe consider becoming a member to get access to a bunch of cool perks. And check out our store. There's a lot of really cool designs available and products, so go check them out. Links in the description. Anyways, back to the video. Toxicity in League is an epidemic, and Riot Games aggressively uses machine learning to fight it. Jeffrey Lin, better known as Riot Light, a leader in social systems who has a background in neuroscience, was key in building Riot's toxicity detection systems. This system is way more than a simple banned words filter. Riot employs ML models that are constantly improved to refine their zero-tolerance lists, pick up variations of verbal abuse, and set precise thresholds to detect less obvious bullying. That adaptive detection and behavior-based penalty application are crucial to the player experience. ML helps Riot spot subtle patterns of bad behavior, like inting, intentional feeding, and repeated leaving patterns, so automated and consistent punishments can be applied. The war against cheats have evolved to a level where traditional client-side detection methods are starting to become useless. Advanced cheats like direct memory access, DMA, exploits, and AI-powered computer vision, CV, hacks are designed to perfectly mimic human behavior, which makes static detection pretty much obsolete. In response, Riot Games, through initiatives like Riot Vanguard, has been shifting the anti-cheat focus to the server side, using a data-driven and machine learning-based approach. AI is used to analyze player behavioral patterns, looking for weird anomalies in inputs or inconsistencies in decision-making that a bot or a sophisticated script might show, but that static systems could never detect. AI's ability to model and detect the detailed behavioral profile of each player, whether it's to identify toxicity or behavioral cheating, provides the most powerful variable for the next big topic. Historically, matchmaking in competitive games has relied on systems like ELO or Glicko, which focus strictly on pairing people of similar skill levels, aiming for that theoretical 50% win probability. This kind of system is purely skill focused. But in MOBA games with two teams, like League of Legends, a system based only on skill can fall short because it doesn't really capture each player's individuality or the full complexity of team dynamics. The real algorithmic power behind player retention is in EOMM, or Engagement Optimized Matchmaking. EOMM is a machine learning framework that treats matchmaking as an optimization problem designed to maximize overall player engagement. It uses behavioral features to predict how long a player will stick around on the platform. From an academic standpoint, EOMM has been shown to outperform CBMM, skill-based matchmaking, and business metrics, retaining on average about 0.7% more players. For a massive for-profit company like Riot Games, that tiny percentage still represents a huge financial optimization across millions of users. Riot Games Incorporated actually holds patents that provide concrete evidence of systems prioritizing engagement over pure skill balance. These patents describe a system where behavioral information about the player is used to generate a predicted retention time, and a match composition is only approved if that time meets a predetermined threshold. The explicit goal is to improve engagement and/or retention levels, comparing to existing matchmaking systems. That confirms the existence of behavioral-based matchmaking. The AI algorithm can tweak team compositions based on the behavioral profile collected from Section 4 to optimize the player's overall experience. For example, if a player has been on a losing streak and stopped playing for a while, then comes back, there's a high chance they'll lose again and quit for good. But if they return and immediately win, they'll want to keep playing. And that's exactly where EOMM shines, because it can match that player with easier or tougher opponents depending on what it will most likely keep them engaged. The algorithm doesn't try to make you lose. What it's really doing is giving you the exact experience that's most likely to make you queue up again. That's social and psychological engineering applied through machine learning. But of course, it's not 100% guaranteed, since League is super unpredictable. Even with all the internal ML, Riot Games still faces a big challenge when it comes to balancing complex champions. Champions with volatile kits like Kalista or Ryze are notoriously hard to balance. They're constantly switching between being the strongest or the weakest AD carry in the entire game. To reach ideal balance, Riot would need to go deeper into deep reinforcement learning, DRL. If those procedural personas, the testing agents, were trained as DRL agents, they could simulate millions of matches and predict a champion's stability and meta impact before release. That would basically eliminate the volatility that comes with complex designs. Besides that, the League of Legends community has been asking for highly realistic training bots modeled after pro players, basically a bot faker, to help people get better in lane. The current bots are okay for practicing last hitting, CSing, and combos, but implementing DRL-powered bots that can actually behave like professional players comes with some massive technical barriers. The gap left by Riot in providing advanced in-game ML tools is now being filled by third parties and the competitive scene. Independent developers use Riot's rich data API to create AI tools that offer real-time champion and item suggestions, plus post-game analysis. These tools are used unsupervised, and semi-supervised ML models are already becoming a real advantage for players looking to improve their gameplay. On the pro level, esports teams use AI to analyze massive amounts of data, optimize drafts, and develop tactical strategies, giving them a crucial edge in tournaments. Access to this kind of data and tools is quickly becoming a new skill factor in competitive play. Artificial intelligence isn't some futuristic promise for League of Legends. It's already a technical reality running behind the scenes, keeping the game's structure and longevity alive. It all depends on how Riot decides to deal with the messy codebase they've got. But yeah, that's basically it. See you guys in the next video.